So this video sent toxic comic book creators into a frenzy, right? Into an absolute frenzy. Let's check this out.
Now they just make idiotic characters most of the time. They finally got somebody good, and then they stop using them. I don't know why. Change of the guard, maybe, or change. Well, then again, there's probably different change of writers where people.
Well, yeah, okay. This guy is a retailer, right? A comic book shop retailer, and he's seen he's seen his business implode, right? The demand has dried up completely for American comics because the quality is shit. Bottom line.
People don't. The writers nowadays, they don't care about the characters of what the character is anymore. Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had.
Again, I think that's very true. There's not Max Versaggio. Was it Vita Ayala, right? Who they use for everything. Is this autistic gay woman, maybe, I don't know, from New York. So she wrote a James Bond comic, right? And it wasn't about James Bond. James Bond was just kind of a dumb guy in the background. It was more about this gay black woman who was good at everything, right? Just relentless self-inserts. I like anybody who wants to read James Bond is not going to want to read that shit, right? So he's about to speak that out very, very, very clearly. And boy, the truth clearly hurts.
And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up, are growing up loving Peter.
Yeah, look, he's telling the truth, right? He's telling the truth. And they freaked out beyond freaked out, right? They completely, totally freaked out. So have the let's see if we got this article. Okay.
Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why.
Because they're hired from identity, right? That's the bottom line. They're hired from identity.
Most of the stuff is shit because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story. We don't care. We don't need your opinion.
Right. So that went insane, right? That went absolutely cray-cray. This story, so he was roundly attacked by comic book professionals. But then, amazingly, somebody decent popped up, right? Mark Miller takes a stand against cancel big, calls on creators and fans to never, ever appease or encourage their cruelties. Dude, this has been going on for what, nearly 10 years now? And the comic book industry is basically dead now. It's a little too late, right? In taking a stand against the ever-growing wave of cancel culture currently overwhelms the world of comic books, veteran industry Mark Miller has officially taken to calling out the self-serving, dishonest behavior of many fans and writers, mostly writers, who would seek to ruin another's career over the slight and often made-up socio-political infractions, or they've been recently termed cancel pigs. So, right, fine. So he first tweeted, I was so appalled by the way this retailer was being harassed and bullied by the digital mob this week for saying comic books are going in the wrong direction. I had to talk to him directly. Here's my interview with Glenn O'Leary. So good for him for doing that. He says, terrific job, Mark. Thank you. I feel like that you might be the only one who can destroy this evil. That's what it is. It's killing comics. I'll get more eyes on this interview now. You should do, right? There, Joe Glass. Again, you've got a rainbow in there. In your bio, you're not a good person. Getting friendly with CG, as Comicsgate. The latest is a fairly friendly response to EVS, it seems. Also, okay, Mark Miller has a solid career in comics. You are there to because you're gay, right? Also highlighted and defended that comics retailer who basically said comics are dying because people are adding diverse. No point to say adding diverse elements to it. They're doing self-inserts into it, right? And that is why it's dying, you absolute cockmomble moron. Because they're adding diverse elements into existing characters. Yeah, keep the characters as they were, right? There's no need for Doctor Who to need to suck a cock, right? There's no need for Green Lantern to get his asshole fingered by Martian Man-fucking Hunter, right? And there's, although I think Martian Manhunter will probably know what he's doing there. Surprise, surprise! Here's the funny thing. They never name the person that they're talking about, right? Because it's like saying Voldemort's name. plays to far-right culture warriors again by supporting a guy who just insulted his fellow comic creators. You do shit! I'm sorry that you just do shit! But you just do shit! Fuck's sake. Try not just doing shit. And then you'll find less people turning around and say, fuck me, that was shit. Should be ashamed of yourself. Just one more and turning to the far right jerk. No, again, criticizing you doesn't make you far right. So Adam uses the store owner as a prop to feed red meat to reactionaries. What, you mean the people who love comics who can't buy it anymore because you filled it full of gay shit, right? Those reactionaries, right? Red meat to... gets kudos from CD weirdos, I mean customers, and enables attacks on his fellow comic creators. You're all talentless hacks and morons. And I'm the bad guy for pointing it out. Yes, you are. You are the bad guy. That's correct. I'm glad you got one thing right in that. They're infamous. Starting a thread. Respectfully, maybe Mark Miller can look through and understand. I love it when they want to educate themselves. Why people in comic industry are and fans are bristling at the push to blame comic shop problems on the diversity of perspective created from. No, it's at no point did it say diversity. Self-inserts. It's lovely that you got your job because you're black and gay, right? That doesn't mean Batman now needs to be black and gay, right? You say this thing, but this is what it becomes. So then he points out, where's the hate? All I see is facts. Most women and all feminist women are unable to write stories that the majority of comic writers fans would like. Well, I that does seem to have overwhelming data to back that up, doesn't it? Mark Miller blocked him. Thank you. Point out Mark Miller that some of his recent commentary has resulted in a wave of villain misogyny. No, it hasn't. And hate speech from his fans. As I was, God, no. Are y'all really surprised about Mark Miller? He's a bad guy now. He's a white male, so he's always been suspect. This is the same guy who wrote the story where the supervillain kidnaps cops' kids, threatened to reveal the world the son was gay and the daughter had an abortion, then inject him with sperm from gay brother into daughter to impregnate her. Okay, well, you know, comics are a funny thing, baby. What comic was that in, I wonder? I don't know anymore. This is my comic purchase is perfect. Tells the the council pig. So but Mark, I think it's a bit too little, mate. Right? I think it's too late. Is true. When I tell pals council pigs equate the actions of a villain with the true views of a writer, like Stan Lee siding with Dr. Doom, they don't believe me. There's a light shining on these goons, and now they look very silly. That's why they're squirming, right? We know, of course, that what's really going on. Council Big Hunt creators under the guise of virtue. Yes, it's never virtue, because because many of them are sociopaths who take pleasure in hurting others, and B, they really want their jobs. See the current situation, how the big two, how that's worked out. Exactly. The most shameful episode in the Little Reign of Terror was them hunting and marginalizing Howard Chaykin, one of the nicest people and talented creators in the biz. They tried to destroy this man for his man in his 70s for internet likes. And look, this has been going on for years. So many big name creator pals are buzzing around with our big enough last week. It's on. I mean, I remember when Frank Miller was uninvited to a comic convention because it offended the black, lesbian, Muslim creators in wheelchairs. These people don't ever read comics, never ever appease or encourage their cruelties. I agree. Some genuine career advice for wannabe council bigs. A huge part of freelance life is your peers, editors wanting to work with you. Everybody just wants to enjoy their job and have a little fun. If you're toxic, nobody wants to touch you. And many of you are in this place now. And you only got your jobs. Let's be clear. You only got the jobs because of your identity. You're absolutely not going to get writer X's job on Batman if you spend 6 months harassing him to suicide. You will only be remembered by his editor and peers as somebody who tried to bankrupt their pal, and they will never be there for you. Here endeth the lesson. How much longer does it go for? Okay, we're nearly done. Yeah, fine. So Midnight King says, it's funny. They are flailing impotently in all fronts, trying to cancel successful blokes like Miller or Wendy Goon, an internet historian, and all three of them pretty apolitical this at the moment. Yeah, look, Miller's pretty much lefty, mate. They have no power, and that's why they scream the loudest. That's why they scream the loudest about the trans stuff, because they know it's fake. Right? I think they do. I think everybody knows that women don't have penises, right? I think most people are aware of that. I spoke to one of DC's biggest writers at the weekend. And he told me he's lived in fear of them for years, but I couldn't emphasize this hard enough. Council pigs hurt people for sport, and they're damaged. Again, where were you in 2017? You must never take them seriously. If they have no power, why are you blaming them for the decline of comic industry? Said Vic Montagna. Okay. Vic Montagna incriminating himself. They have zero power over creators, but their writers and editors have made the mistake of trying to appease them for the past 7 years. Exactly. It's been fiscal suicide. I think Doctor Who's heading the same way. I think it's a good, although they look like they're going to be good together. As they don't really read comics. We'll discuss retailers on my live stream tonight. Okay, so fine. So then, who was it? Mark Waid strikes back. Now, Mark Waid is Trump derangement syndrome, completely bonkers, right? So again, remember what that guy said. Just stop writing yourself into the character. Just write the character, right? So over here, and like a falling star rocketing across the sky, another former comic superstar whose heat is fading chooses to cry for attention and blaming the industry, his peers, and the audience, rather than taking stock of his own professional progress and admitting we are often the authors of our own fate. I think he's doing quite well, Mark Miller. I think he's doing better than you, Mark Waid, right? Also of our own fate and finding the courage to reinvent himself and stay relevant. It's really not. It's really not that hard. My star's not going to burn forever either, but no one's does. But accepting that fact gracefully is a sign of emotional maturity. But if I have ever become the guy, every single one of you has permission to slap me upside the head and force me to reread the above paragraph until it sinks in. Well, you are that guy. Right? There's something that can't be there are some things that can't be agreed with, but clearly there's a disconnect between the Big Two's editorial and the LCS's owner and readers. And Mark is not wrong to highlight that. It's true. They don't want the shit that you're making. They don't want Riri fucking Williams. They want Tony fucking Stark. How did the Marvels go? Remind me. Oh, it was embarrassing shit. Right? More quality storytelling is needed. And the reason why you, Joe, Kurt Busiek, Donny Cates make a mark is that still wows the reader. This. Yes. Sigh. All the complaints about comics are dying because familiar characters are getting written out of character. No, people aren't buying them anymore because they're not really being written out of character by people who want to self-insert. I've seen it constantly. Their own political causes and turn them into SJW mouthpieces. Again, why do you think that's not happening? But not one single legitimate example given. Again, the James Bond comic. Vita Ayala's James Bond comic, which was always Vita Ayala's self-insert. It's because people don't read comics that much anymore because you chase 3/4 of your audience away, maybe more. I give you an example of more things I see. Doctor Who, Starbeast, that's absolutely was. Not one. Who? Superman? Well, he is gay. Superman does suck a dick now and doesn't do anything other than hold hands with his boyfriend. There is that. So yeah, Superman sucking a dick and holding hands with his boyfriend. That's fucking gay, mate. Right? So yes. Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman. Nobody reads this shit anymore. Right? Again, have you not noticed the cratering sales? Man, this guy's in delusion. Well said. Markway, well said. Well, they have, and so have we. Since we focus on Marvel comics and the Captain America series by Ta-Nehisi Coates is one of the bad examples, which seemed like a political manifesto shoved into a comic, unlike the writings of Kirby, Grunwald, and your very own Operation Rebirth, followed by post-Hickman X titles, and most recently Punisher by Jason Aaron. Furthermore, shrugging an LCS owner opinion by simply questioning if they have read comics or not sounds a bit condescending. To put it mildly, let's assume you're right, but you're the one bearing the brunt in the form of loss of sales and possibly business closure. There's your POV. There's Mark Miller's POV. There's LCS's owner POV. POV and the truth is somewhere between, right? Frankly, you're too benevolent. Thank you. Too benevolent when it comes to today's comics, which is surprisingly considering it's all political, lining up, right? So I think considering the kind of work that you have produced for our favorite Marvel character, whatever. The Captain America by time is one of the bad. Fine, so they're just saying that again. Man, I mean this is what comics look like now. It's just freaking ridiculous. I mean, look at that. Although they're paid such shit, it's no surprise that they don't do more work. So yeah, Mark, he goes off on a real rant. Okay, yep, the mainstream superhero comics is having a rough time of it lately. Yes, because all the stories are shit. Few people are saying otherwise. And my heart goes to the struggling retailers. Steps need to be taken. Maybe not make them all about gay shit. All right. Maybe make it so Superman doesn't suck a dick anymore. And even the alt-right loudmouths make some good points. Why are they alt-right? Right? Again, you're bonkers, mate. I think if anybody wants to write a political analogy into anything, they need to look in the mirror for a good 10, 20 minutes and say, I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong. And say it over and over and over again. Just keep saying, because you were. The only reason we have the economic latitude to be able to do this shit is because the great economy made by Donald Trump. Alt-right loudmouth. Well, who's a right loudmouth? Who's right-wing then? Dick Cheney or Liz Cheney? But when Make Better Comics becomes make more comics that are to my impersonal taste. No, it's to the personal taste of your buying audience. That's a solution I can't get behind. Well, why not? Why can't you make something tailored to what the readers want? That's the job of a writer. Badly produced comics sure aren't helping, and there's a bunch of them out there, but neither is pretending that the bad superhero comics is some new phenomenon. No, bad superhero comics being used as mouthpieces for insane SJW talking points, right? That's a new thing, right? As somebody who's been reading them for 6 years, I can promise you that many of the ones you remember with nostalgic fondness is because you were a middle schooler and were just bad compared to the actual classics of the day. Just because you and your friends don't like something, it's not just us and our friend, it's the entire fucking audience, you fucking moron. Doesn't mean it doesn't automatically make it empirically bad. No, but if the cells are bad, that makes it empirically bad, right? That does make it empirically bad. What an absolute moron, right? What an absolute moron. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.